Good evening, everyone. How are you? I hope you are fine tonight. Fantastic news. MCO is lifted. So we are all on track. Maybe some of us can work, some of us can't work, but please do your applications to MITI. Sometimes MITI don't reply, but no choice. We still have to apply it. Anyway, very good evening to all of you. Tonight, we are going to share with you a fantastic topic. As you know, we are tonight having a fantastic topic about why do you need get a good lawyer. Can you give me hold a second? Technical issue. Can you lower the volume here? Volume, sorry, too loud here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to be live and we are going to discuss on about lawyers topic. Okay, and today we have a fantastic guest by the name of Charmaine. She's here with us, and we are still sorry. We still Latif, the voice is still very loud. Listen. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our live show. Tonight we are going to discuss about why do you need a good lawyer. Okay, as you know, lawyers are very important in our daily necessities and our purchases of properties. Okay, so if you know how to solve a problem with a lawyer, you don't need a lawyer. But of course, if you're a lawyer, then you're fine. But if you're not a lawyer, you need to get a good lawyer. Okay, and of course, today's episode we are going to discuss about how real estate is going to help you. Okay, and of course, by buying a real estate to help you fund whatever capitals that you need and whatever properties that you want to buy to fund your investments and whatever needs that you want, we need a lawyer to purchase it. We need a lawyer to get all the things done, all the paperwork done in order to solve this fantastic transaction. So tonight, let's discuss about what it is when to buy a property. Placing a lawyer there is as important as having a real estate agent. So not only you get a real estate agent to purchase the property, but of course, when you get the property done from a real estate agent, you always need the agent to pass it to a lawyer to solve the whole issue. All right. So let's begin. And of course, with that, I have to let you know who am I first. As of if you are new, first time listening to us, I'm the managing director of CID Realtors. You can see my name here, Lautong, also known as LT. Okay, you can call me LT, very simple because some of them do not pronounce my name. But some call me Lokong, Lontong, but of course, it's actually Lautong stands for LT. And I have 16 years of experience in this real estate industry since 2004, and licensed real estate agent as well. In the E2733 is my number. If you go on the board's website, BOVAEP, BOVAEP, Board of Valuers, you can actually check my license, which is E2733. It's there. Again, you can. We are not here to cheat anyone. We are here to help. And of course, as a director, managing director, and also founder of CID Realtors Sdn Berhad. Okay, since 2018, this is a real estate firm that's situated in Jalan Tun Razak, facing the Belatan Pandan. So if you're passing by going into KLCC, passing Jalan Tun Razak into KL, you can see us on the right hand side just next to track. All right, next to Zoo Club, inside track. All right, and of course, I'm the real estate trainer and also speaker and a real estate coach to the company and also to the public. As of now, we have helped and coached up to 600 negotiators in our company, and we are very specialized in doing residential property, commercial and industrial, and also especially land. And of course, myself, I'm a specialized I do specialized consultancy on marketing and pricing of some of the industrial properties and also commercial properties for new projects development. Okay, we help developers price their properties so we can sell it for them. And of course, myself, I'm also a realtor. I was 16 years experience being a realtor. I handle industrial properties and commercial properties and also industrial land and all those things. We do agricultural land as well. And I'm quite pro in that part because I've served many years in this industry. And of course, I also do corporate real estate advisory works to corporate clients, especially for them to expand, and also some of them are downsizing, or some of them want to build more offices or relocation. We do this as well. Okay, so I'm pretty much quite familiar in that sector. And up to date, happily to tell you that we are proud to have 10 offices in all around Malaysia. All right, we have KL Track, our HQ, Sunway, Klang, Imbi, Johor Bahru, Penang, Bukit Jalil, all right, Kota Damansara, and Setia Alam together with also Ipoh. So we have also gone north and south. So we welcome you and hope that CID Realtors can serve you as well. All right. Okay, that's a little bit of my brief background. Remember, my name is LT. So today we are going to discuss something very important. What are the roles of the lawyers in a property transaction? Now, I'm sure all of you know what is a lawyer. We have advocates and solicitors, okay, but I'm not going to go into detail as that. To a very general layman term, you understand what is a lawyer. Okay, lawyers, people always think is the one that go to court, fight in court. Okay, do we always need a lawyer in our life? Now, to be telling you the truth, actually, lawyers are very important people when you purchase a property, especially in a real estate transaction. Okay, when you buy a property, you need a lawyer to help you solve all the documents. Now, it doesn't mean that you really 100% need to be represented by a lawyer. You can also buy a property without using a lawyer. But of course, you have to go through a lot of problems like drafting your agreement, doing and all your. If you're not good in English, you need to go and get an English English, not calculator, English dictionary, go and write out your whole clauses and so on and so forth. Of course, you interpret the law is also an important issue. So you need a lawyer to help you do a transaction through the land office and whatever relevant authorities that need to go through. So one of the important things is if you're renting a property, okay, some of you, of course, when you rent a simple room or condo, you always go through the real estate agent. You can easily just get a real estate agent to do a tenancy, but did you know that you are not supposed to actually get an agent to go and do the tenancy agreement? Because tenancy agreements are supposedly only done by lawyers. Okay, the drafting of a tenancy agreement is a very important agreement which is supposed to be done by a lawyer, not a real estate agent can simply just draft it out. All right, it is as important as a sale and purchase agreement, whereby the sale and purchase agreement is also drafted by the lawyer. So however, if you're doing a tenancy agreement and a sale and purchase agreement, by right it's a similar agreement that you need to get a lawyer to draft it out. So in these circumstances, you normally hire a lawyer and pay a legal fees to ask them to help you draft a tenancy agreement or a sale and purchase agreement. Now, why you can't do it yourself? Some people ask me, hey, why I can just go to online and download a sale and purchase agreement and send over? You can do that, it's not wrong, but of course, not every agreement suits the property that you're selling or buying. So when you're purchasing a property, you have to put up all the documentations to our so-called lawyer, and so your lawyer will protect your interests. Okay, protecting your interest is another important issue that you need to know. All right. Now, sale and purchase agreement is a very important agreement. So when you purchase a property, the lawyer, you need to be represented by a lawyer to protect your rights. Because if you want something from the property, you need to let your lawyer know so your lawyer can draft it up and put a clause inside the agreement so that it will protect you as well. Okay, and of course, when you go for, especially if you're a landlord or a vendor, okay, you're renting out or you're selling your property, you also need a lawyer. Okay, and if you're buying a property, if you're tenanting a property, you are supposedly needing a property as well. Now, let me tell you this very simple. Of course, when you say, hey, why I do a simple room, why I need a lawyer? This room also, the agents got a very simple agreement. We can just follow at that and save the money for the legal fees. Yeah, you can do that, but however, not if you're not protected. If nothing goes wrong, it's okay. But if something goes to court, if the agreement is not the correct one, then good luck to you. All right. By right, we are supposed to get a lawyer to serve you. Of course, renting a room is not so big issue, but if like you are doing the deals that I do, you're renting out a factory or warehouse or a big building, a showroom, yeah, this kind of thing. Normally, you have a legal team or legal team by the tenant and also the vendor side, the owner, to help you draft the agreement. Okay, so to make sure both parties are protected when you come to a tenancy agreement. And of course, tenancy is just a short-term rental agreement. But if you go to a lease agreement, which is 4 years and above per term, then of course that also will have to go for 4 years or 5 years, 5 plus 5 plus 5, that kind of 10 years, 10 plus 10 plus 10, this kind of lease agreement, you also need a lawyer to draft it up. So it's very important, you must understand that tenancy agreements and sale and purchase agreement, you need a proper solicitor, a lawyer to help you draft it. All right. And of course, lawyers, you look at the pink slide there, the pink square, right? It's important. It says that protecting each client's position and safety measures. Now, why you get a lawyer for? Because the lawyer can help to protect your interests, okay, and your position. If you are in a position being a buyer, the lawyer helps you complete the deal by purchasing the property. If you are in selling the property, the lawyer helps you protect your interests by selling. So make sure all the things are drafted correctly to suit you. Now, a lawyer also helps you to complete the entire transaction, because without a lawyer, you have to go to the land office, fill up your own form, do your own submissions, and you must go to the relevant department which you don't know. Okay, because normally lawyers are trained and they are skilled to go to the land office to complete the whole transaction for you. All right, that is how important their job is when they come to serving you as a client. Now, another method is preventing you from being cheated. If you are going into a deal, a sale and purchase, or a tenancy agreement, sometimes people impose clauses that you did not know, and then you get yourself into trouble. So you need a lawyer to help you, to prevent you from being cheated by the other party. Even though you're purchasing or renting the property through a real estate agent, a lawyer will help you complete the whole transaction by preventing you from being cheated by the vendor or the purchaser or the landlord or the tenant. So that's how important a lawyer is throughout the roles of them playing in the property transaction. All right. And the most important thing that we want to know is safeguarding all your payments in full without a purchaser, because a lawyer holds a stakeholder's account, which we also call it as a client's account. Okay, it's same thing as a real estate agent. We also have a client's account. All right, but of course, normally in a lawyer's perception, their client's account are much more larger, because if they're going to get the payment from the bank to go through to the owner, okay, that one is a very big sum. Sometimes the properties can be millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, which is why a client always chooses the right lawyer to represent him, a trusted lawyer. Because if you don't get a trusted lawyer, you are asking somebody to put the money into somebody's stakeholder account which you don't know, then you get feared. Okay. Now, when we talk about this stakeholders account, let me share with you something that I've shared before in my previous episode. A stakeholders account, if a law firm, like similarly to a real estate agent, if it's a sole proprietor run firm, if it's one person to sign on the client's account, you have one of the most worries in your life. Why? Because if that lawyer wants to take out the money, just one person sign the check can take off the money. So, which is why lawyers, you come and see most of the firms, they got a lot of partners. Okay, when you got a lot of partners, the client's account is controlled by several partners. So wherever money that you go through into the client's account is not a one-man signature to take out the money. It's a minimum of 2 to 3 lawyers. Then only they'll issue you the check and a bank draft or so and so forth. So it needs a few lawyers to confirm the transaction and also the payment in order to reach you. So which is why when you choose a lawyer, you always look at how many partners are there, who's going to sign the checks. Are there people? Is it 2% minimum or 3% to sign? So you want to feel secure with your money. Okay, and this stakeholders account money, although it's just a client's account money, is still something. It's still a very important account where you want to be secure. Okay, if you choose the wrong lawyer, don't think real estate agent can lari with your money. Lawyer also can lari with your money. Okay, lawyer take your money, also can chapo lari. So very important, you must know that this client account, the money that when you sold your property, you're going to use your lawyer to pay you, because the buyer will be, or the buyer or the buyer's bank will release the money to your solicitor. Your solicitor will release the money to you. So in this case, you have to protect your interests, and you need to choose the correct lawyers to help you in order to solve your transactions. Sorry, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, safeguarding your payment is your choice, because you make your own choice when you sell or purchase your property or rent out your property. So when you have a right legal associate to help you transact the property, and you know the roles of a lawyer in the property transaction, then you're quite secure. So remember what I just told you, tenancy agreement drafting, it is important to have a lawyer. Sell and purchase agreement drafting, you also need a lawyer. This is definitely because when you're buying or selling, you need a lawyer, all right? And completing the whole transaction, you need to help. If you don't complete the whole transaction, it goes into a court case. That is another diversion that we will discuss later when we bring in a guest, my friend, today to help you answer some of the questions. Now, the next thing, protecting each client's position and safety measures, because by having the lawyer, both parties, the lawyers will start negotiating and help you complete the deal. And of course, both parties don't want to cheat each other. They will protect each other to prevent each other from being cheated and safeguard. And most importantly, like I said, the payments. Your payment and the payments is exceptionally important. And normally lawyers will, of course, when your payment comes in, they'll deduct their fees from the stakeholders account and then send it back to you. That will be quite a norm thing. Even real estate agents also, we do that. We go through the earnest deposit, we deduct our fees, and then we minus off the fees, and then we balance will be paid back to the client as well. Okay, that's how important it is. Now, next thing I want to share with you, find a good lawyer. How to find a good lawyer. Now, a lot of us, we have friends. I'm sure you have friends. If you don't have friends, something wrong with you. If your friends or your colleagues, if you need a lawyer, what is the best ways to look for them? You can always ask referrals. Okay, find a friend or someone to refer a friend of you, which is a lawyer. Okay, and of course, look at the firm as well and make sure the firm is protected, like what I mentioned. And it's important when you refer, of course, somebody knows you or knows somebody, is important to have that as a referral. But of course, there are some also refer dangerous. Like you do your due diligence, check the law firm. Okay, go to the bar council's website, the bar, and check whether this lawyer is it the right registered lawyer, okay, to help you transact your property. And what is the lawyer's area of specification? Now, that is very important. Lawyer, like real estate agent, same thing, you're professionals. When you look for agent to sell you a house, you want to help find a person that's doing residential property. And of course, an area specialist in that area. Okay, if you're wanting to sell your shop, you need to find a shop specialist. Wanting to sell your factory or land, you need to find a specialist. Same thing when you come to deal with a lawyer. Find a good lawyer that is specialized in their specification sector. Meaning to say, if the lawyer is good at convincing, doing SMP, doing a sale and purchase agreement, doing a tenancy agreement, and then this is the right person. They know how to when to send the laptop demand and so on and so forth to complete the deal. Okay, but if you go and find a litigation lawyer, what is a litigation lawyer? Those people that fight court case always go court one, and then you have them ask them to do SPA. Problem, because they will put in probably clauses that the other side won't like. So you have to be very careful. And some people doing corporate advisory lawyer work, some people doing corporate one, some people doing those, you know, you bank tarik balik kereta one, all that kind of, so many things. And some doing criminal law. So you must know whether the lawyer that you're looking for is at the right specified area that you want. Okay, so what is your problem? When you're a problem, you get a lawyer's advice. Now, last time people always say you sit down in front of a lawyer, you must pay them consultancy fee to at least to get their advice. But I'm sure today we also got plenty of lawyers in the market. If somebody want to charge you, maybe you go for very expensive one, they charge you. But if you want a proper advice, a simple advice, I think a lot of lawyers can actually help you answer your questions easily. All right, so look for one which can help you easily. Now, and also when you purchase a property, now we are talking about how you when you purchase a property, to find a good lawyer to help you solve the problem. So find out whether the lawyer is also on any bank's panel, because if you're buying a property and taking a loan, okay, you will probably need a lawyer to help you transact the loan agreement as well with the bank. So if the lawyer is not a panel to the bank, then you probably have to get another lawyer which is panel to the bank. So sometimes in a transaction, can you have two lawyers? Yes. You may have a convincing lawyer to help you settle the SPA, and then another lawyer helping you to do the loan agreement. Now, in this case happens, let me advise you, ladies and gentlemen, you have a big issue, the delay of communication. When you have two lawyers and then two of them need to communicate to get the documents done, your time frame given will drag a bit. You must need to follow up and also consistently, aggressively tell your lawyer to get things done faster. Otherwise, the timing and the dates will get jumbled up. So remember what I tell you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you need to find out. The best is, of course, to get one lawyer, okay, one lawyer that is also a panel to the bank and help you settle the loan agreement and also the SPA. Then of course everything is with one office, you have less problem and less communication issues. So you try to reduce your risk of going over time. Make sure you have one lawyer instead of two lawyers to do your transaction, if you can. Okay, if you can. If you can't, then remember what I tell you, chase the lawyers. All right, and of course get the lawyer to tell you the fee, or sorry, there's a spelling error, is fee structure. What's the fee structure? The fee structure of the lawyers now is quite a standard structure. You can just go to the bar council or see what's the legal fees in charges. Is quite standard. All right. And some people like to ask this. Okay, I'm not going to share with you. I'm not going to just tell you this. Some lawyer can give discount. I'm not going to answer for you. I'll answer for the lawyers. You discuss with your lawyers how they want to charge you. The fees is a standard fees. Okay, you need to talk to the lawyer. What is the fee structure that they are going to charge you? So it's important for you to discuss that before you hire them to be representing you. Now, lawyers, yes, we know they are supposed to communicate on behalf of you, but it's also important as a client, you need to find a lawyer that can has continuous communication with you. A good lawyer should be the one that's continuously communicating with you, not get the clerk to communicate with you. The clerk communicates with you when you need to sign, or probably when you sign, you are supposed to be in front of a lawyer. So the clerk will make an appointment with you to make your signature. But make sure your lawyer is the one that has a continuous communication to talk to you and also knows how to serve you. You don't want a lawyer to tell you everything, or you write letter lah, you email to me lah. Okay, don't WhatsApp me. Then if a lawyer tells you, oh sorry, I can't be contacted through my handphone, I will ask the lawyer, which era are you in now? If your lawyer also, if your handphone also cannot give me, I think no need to do business. So it's very important. If I started real estate in 2004, okay, let me tell you this. There were ancient lawyers that time telling me, sir, can I have your handphone number? I will ask the lawyer or the client's lawyer. They said, sorry, you anything, call the office phone. If in today 2021 a lawyer answers me this way, I will tell the lawyer to go back to dinosaur world. Okay, because in today's communication world, WhatsApp, WeChat, Telegram, phone calls, SMS is quite normal. Okay, not like those days are so private that you cannot give your phone number, we cannot call you, cannot communicate. If you are not going to be easy to friendly to be communicating with, then of course we can't work together, and it's hard to work as a client and advisor, a lawyer advisor to the client as well. So make sure you must choose the right lawyer. Okay, they are willing to serve you, they're willing to give you contact and anything. Of course, don't harass your lawyer. No point harassing them. If you need to get an advice, get a follow-up, call the lawyer or WhatsApp the lawyer, and don't call people in the middle of the night. All right, so it's also important you must work professionally with the person that you choose. So in a transaction, as a client, you must find a good lawyer. Okay, a good lawyer is a very important person in serving and helping you complete your deal. If you get the wrong one, you get the wrong advice, I tell you, you will need to get another lawyer. What is the other lawyer? To help you fight a court case. Okay, that will be a problem that you have to solve a major issue that after that. So the next thing we want to talk about is, like I said just now, conveyancing versus litigation. What's the difference? Now, if you're going to complete the SPA or a tenancy agreement, okay, or sending simple letters to a client, you want to complete the deal done for a property, we normally get a conveyancing lawyer. Now, conveyancing lawyer are those that actually help you convey the message, get the SPA tenancy done, and talk to the client on the other side to solve the whole deal. Okay, litigation. Sorry, there's also error on spelling. Litigation lawyers are the one that always go to court. They go and fight case, go to mahkamah, go to the court, and two lawyers will meet and then go for a case management and fight a case in front of the judge. Okay, so that one is litigation. When you have an issue like divorce matter, you have a commercial crime, or you have a commercial civil suit. Okay, you have all these things. Now that one we go to a litigation lawyer. So we will talk about this later when we have a guest today. I have invited a legal associate to chat with you as well towards the end of the show, so stay tuned. So for me to let you know, the understanding between a conveyancing lawyer and a litigation lawyer is, one is drafting of agreements. Okay, the conveyancing lawyers don't really go to court. Okay, if they got any problem, they normally pass it to the litigation department. They will go and study the case and go to court. Okay, litigation lawyers normally also don't really do SPAs. They do, but they choose not to do so much because they want a lot of paperwork. Litigation one, not so much, but of course they go to court, need to pandai cakap lah, need to bantah here, bantah there, so it's different. All right. I will always advise my client, try to get a proper convincing lawyer to solve your sale and purchase agreement. Why? Because if you get a litigation lawyer, they come in to do a convincing job for you, they will screw the deal up for you. Okay, listen carefully. They will screw the deal up for you because a litigation lawyer will help you put in clauses and reword the whole phrase, rephrase the whole thing into something very special that your client, the other side, or your seller or the buyer would not like to see. And when they see that kind of clause, the sale and purchase agreement is cancelled. They don't want to proceed. So it will help you become more problem. So why not choose someone who is very fair? All lawyers normally are fair. They help you when you look at convincing sale and purchase agreements. Okay, normally it's very fair clauses to help protect the buyer and the seller, because you want to protect both parties, make sure the deal is smooth. So if a litigator comes in, they'll think about the problems that they face, the problems that they go to court for, so they tambah important things that actually the thing won't happen. So it make the thing more, the sellers will be more defensive or the buyer will be more defensive if they see clauses like that. So we want to complete a deal, we must have a willing buyer, willing seller situation, but also our drafting of agreement have to be fair. We try to make things fair so that both parties won't fight. Okay, and we can solve the deal immediately and close the deal. So that's what you want to do when hiring a convincing lawyer rather than a litigation lawyer. So if you have a problem, if the case seller you paid earnest deposit, paperwork all signed between buyer seller, suddenly the seller don't want to sign. Okay, so, sorry, the seller don't want to sign SPA, don't want to proceed. We have a few cases now. So in this case, what happens? The buyer wants to charge this to court and get a specific performance SP clause on the seller, forced to get a court order to force the deal done, force the seller to sell. Now, in this case, the convincing lawyers will pass the case to the litigation side and ask the litigation lawyers to go and fight it in court and look at the letter offer and says, look, this agent's letter offer says specific performance, so you're done. We have to force the sale to go through. So you must fight the case in court. So you have to go and tell what's happening from the buyer side, tell what's happening on the seller side, both sides to be represented, goes to a case management. If case management cannot settle, arbitration cannot settle, then it goes to the court. Then when the judge will be there, then of course call witness come in, and of course I went to court before for this kind of matters as well. So it's a lot of time wasting there, to let you know. You try not to reach there. But when you're doing deals in the market, there's bound to things happen like that, bound to have litigation cases, which is why Mahkamah also during MCO still jalan. So remember the difference between a convincing lawyer and a litigation lawyer. It will help you solve your problem if you're going to the right one for right advice. All right. So during MCO, the question is, how can lawyers protect you during MCO? Okay, if you got any questions, throw it out. Later on we'll pop up the questions. We have a guest here to help you answer, and of course myself as well. And let's discuss the next thing. How can lawyers protect you during MCO? Not because PKPP, PKPD or whatever thing come out and then you become you ask a lawyer, hey, during MCO, how am I going to collect rent? Am I going to do this? So you don't know yet. Okay, but let me tell you this. During MCO, you still need a lawyer. That's why now even MCO time lawyers are also working. Okay, they've already got their bar council to approve them for work. So how can lawyers protect you during MCO? MCO clauses. What is an MCO clause? So you want an MCO clause today to delay of time for payment. Now you got payment, correct? You have to pay some things. You have to, the deposits you have to pay, or you have to pay for your full 10% and your 90% balance and all those things. Okay, so will you have a delay of time for payment? Okay, and this MCO clauses, is there a clause to protect you, to tell you whether during, if any MCO happen caught by the government, lockdown, cannot cross border, are you going to have a delay of time for your payment? And the days of 14 days to sign SPA, 14 days to sign tenancy, 21 days to sign SPA, all these things, can it be delayed? Can you buy time? As long lawyer cannot go to work, land office not open, okay, how to do work? Land office not open, you cannot do search, so you cannot release payment. So these are the things that you need to ask your lawyer to have that MCO clauses in order to protect you from the whole transaction. If not, you sign 14 days to sign during MCO, June 1st day to 14, is it to sign SPA? You cannot, so you also cannot go out, cannot see the lawyer. So how are you going to sign? Okay, and don't forget one thing. Let me share with you one thing. There are plenty of real estate agencies in the market today that is always using this kind of e-signing. Okay, e-signing for clients to sign letter offer, to ease off the agent's job and the clients to meet up to do e-signing. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me. E-signing is not law. I mean, not recognized by the court of law yet. Okay, if not, the CID realtors long ago do it already. But there are people who are using it. Let me share with you this. The court of law cannot confirm the authenticity of the signatory. So, which is why today e-signing is still not done by the lawyers. The day solicitors and lawyers do e-signing is the day we real estate agent can adapt. Because today the court of law still don't adapt it, do not want it. That's why everything has to be signed in front of the lawyer, which is why this e-signing is not working for lawyers yet, because the court of law doesn't accept it. So remember what I tell you, e-signing is not recognized yet. Simple agreements or simple letters, maybe e-signing can do it through an agency or whatever. But if you're doing a sale and purchase agreement, tenancy agreement, or especially a letter of offer to purchase or agreement to purchase, agreement to rent, these important documents are better not to do e-signing. The larger the deal is, the higher your liability and insurance is. So you better get yourself protected. Okay. If no problem, people don't care. Normally you do e-signing, people don't care, because small rental room, small condo rental, agent easier to just get the e-signing. No need to meet up. But the witnessing, I also don't know who will witness. If agent witness the client side, but not next to the client, how is this going to be recognized as authenticity to the court? So this is the questions you need to ask yourself. All right. So to mention, of course, e-signing will be the future, but it's not now. One day it will. Okay. One day it will. But wait until the court of law accepts this. So come back to this. How can lawyers protect you during MCO? You also want them to help you by getting the right clause to delay of time for signing documents, delay of time for relevant government authorities submissions for approvals as well. All these things you want them to, the lawyer to help you write letter, okay, to the right relevant authority to get a delay on the like state consents and all those things, and EPU consents. So during this MCO period, you must need a lawyer to help you write in to get a reply in order to get your sale transaction smoothly done right after MCO. Okay, and of course, effective interest calculations as well. Of course, if you do not have a lawyer to protect you, if normally your 90 days plus 30 days, 3 plus 1 month. In the 1 month, you got an 8% interest to pay the balance payment. Now, when that time happen, if you are fall inside the MCO period, are you going to be charging interest or not? The vendor asking. Vendor's lawyer be asking, of course, cannot charge. Then the buyer side have to protect also, make sure it's not charged. But of course, if you delay time, you have to get a charge. So is it during MCO time can charge? This is the questions you need to ask to your lawyer to help you protect you. All right. And rental payments during MCO. This is also a question that a lot want to ask. Do we need to pay rental during MCO? Big question marks. A lot of people ask for rental reduction from the owners. Some landlord give, some don't give, some give 30%, some give 50%, some $1 also don't give. So then some resort to, $1 don't pay, I don't pay you rent lah. Then I don't pay you rent, cannot lah, this one is wrong. Okay, based on your tenancy agreement, you have to follow your rental agreement, you have to pay. So now, is it a must to pay rental payments? Yes, it is. But can you ask for discount? That depends on whether your owner is going to give you. If you have a rental agreement clause, a rental clause inside the agreement that states during MCO period, if full lockdown, your rental cannot charge, then you have to get your lawyers to protect you by inserting that clause into the tenancy agreement. When that happened, I think everyone is learning from what happened since last year's pandemic, March 18. Okay, the whole world, and today we still have a parliament that is not working yet. We don't know when are we going to get this clause done. And supposedly this MCO when it happens, you are supposed to get a lawyer to protect you, to have a clause stating that if your business is affected during MCO, you cannot book up kedai, you cannot sell your stuff, even delivery, you're not doing food business, you cannot book up kedai, you're supposed to be exempted from a rental. If your owner agrees to that and then they sign the tenancy agreement, okay. If the owner don't agree, then probably don't rent to you. So you have to discuss this, okay, when you want to talk to your clients as well. So you make sure your lawyers are protecting you as a client from this kind of rental payments if you want to put it in your tenancy agreement. And loss of business during MCO, like I mentioned, this MCO period, a lot of people lose business. So is it going to be a clause that is inside to protect you? Okay, make sure the lawyer answers you by having that. If can be protected later, you can ask my friend as well. And today, if this clause is also like similarly to a natural disaster clause, okay, and you what you mean by similar natural disaster is like volcano, earthquake happen, unless this pandemic is not what we want, okay, it's something that's happening. We don't know whether when will lockdown again. So today, if let's say by 1st of August, everyone is released to go out do business, so will we know by 1st of October another lockdown? Question mark. I also don't dare to answer you. Nobody dares to answer you. But of course, the best way the government is helping is to get you vaccinated. So probably that's the only way to protect us and get on with life with our business. Okay. So what if you are in the entertainment business? You have got a pub business. You rented a shop for a pub business for drinking session, drinking place. So are you having a clause that's protecting your entertainment outlet? Now that is also another question mark. Previous tenancies don't have that. New tenancies now have this. So some tenants don't want to, some owners don't want to rent to such tenants. So all these are the questions that you need as a real estate agent need to ask the clients, okay? Whether they want, as a consumer, you need to ask the estate agent as well, whether is this the right property that the owner is going to rent it to me, and you get your lawyers to come in to make sure the clauses are there to protect you, okay? So very important, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you understand how important it is. Lawyers can do a pretty good job for you during this MCO period. All right, that is very important. All right. So the next thing we also want to share this with you is, as a practitioner myself, all right, you need to know what are there to protect you, which akta, which acts in the current Malaysia nationwide, what act is there to protect you. Okay, we are in real estate. Real estate, we are all bound to an act called National Land Code. Okay, Act 828. As you can see on the screen, this green book now is updated as of 5th December last year, 2020. These are all the rules and regulations, the law of Malaysia inside this NLC, National Land Code. Okay, so it's very important. If you want to buy this book, you can just go into Times or MPH. I think that you can just look for the ACTA section and they can actually buy this book. Okay, it's all about the whole National Land Code of Malaysia. And of course, we have East Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak. They have a different land code, which is Sarawak Land Code and Sabah Land Ordinance. So their book also is different. And you can also purchase it from all these bookshops. Okay, and of course, if you're buying a residential property, you have this Housing Development Act 1966, which is the Control and Licensing Act 118 to protect you. Again, I'm not asking you to go through the whole book. This is the book that the lawyers use. Okay, follow the law there and interpret the law to protect you in your sale and purchase agreement and your tenancy agreements. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, please recognize this so that you know what exactly you're getting into when you purchase a property, because they are all bound to these land codes. All right. So this is how important our property line is, and how it can help. How a lawyer can help you interpret this law and put it in your sale and purchase agreement, in your agreements to complete your real estate deal. All right. Okay. Do we really need a good lawyer? Now, it's 9:10 now. I'm going to help you do something fantastic now. I'm going to invite my friend here. All right. My friend, ladies and gentlemen, is a lady here. She's a legal associate. So I'm going to discuss this before I bring her in. Why we really need a good lawyer. She will help you answer and assure by questions as well. You need to get professional assurance. when you purchase a property, okay, professional assurance is needed to complete the deal. And if you don't have a good lawyer to do it, problems arise. You need to go to court. You also need a lawyer to assure you by bringing you to court. Otherwise, if you're small claims, then you probably do unrepresented. You go to a small claims court. But if you are, if you are going for a case which is larger in amount, you need a lawyer to professionally follow you there and represent you as well. Okay, and also ensuring all your documentations are in order. Okay, you need a good lawyer to ensure your documentations, your SPA, tenancy, everything are in order, and the time frame following the time frame that you choose to purchase. Okay, so if you are buying as a buyer or selling as a seller or as a landlord or tenant, there are plenty of documentations need to be solved, and especially dealing with the land office pejabat tanah. So when we deal with the pejabat tanah, you need a lawyer, a good one, to help you get it done. Okay, and as also explaining the procedures to you and all the jargons. The lawyer will know step by step. Okay, real estate agents, sometimes a good one, of course, can also explain, or the lawyer will be much more in detail because they interpret the law. They know the black and white, the parts that you do the agreement as well. Okay, the drafting of it, and dealing with third parties if there's a referral, or like third parties are like agents. Okay, the people that are like state government, all right, for state consent, the local authority for certificate of fitness or CCC, these kind of things. So you need a lawyer to get this part done for you as well. They are the third parties, whether to solve all these dealings for you and get the property fully transacted to you safely. I'm sure you hear before some cases, lawyers, they transact the property to you. When you buy the property, the previous seller didn't give you the factory punya floor plan, or the title never give you, or probably the copy of the layout didn't give you. Then suddenly you need to go find it. If a proper lawyer is supposed to purchase, when you buy a property, okay, you need to get a lawyer to also advise you that the floor plans are supposed to be ready and come in. So that part also is very important. And of course, when those things are in the hands of the lawyer, they will hand it over to you. If the things are not in the lawyer's hand, then later on you transact finish, then people throw away already, and you don't know where to find the documents. Then you have to withdraw all the things. And lastly, the planning for will and trust as well. So planning of will and trust is also important, because when anything happen to you, who's going to be the beneficiary of the property? So the lawyer can also help you. They are also trained to write a will and to do that for you in order to get your family and your whole property safe in hands. All right. So we are pretty much open for questions, and I have a fantastic friend that I've invited today. Okay, please bring up my friend. I think my team here will be ready to bring her up. Her name is Charmaine. Okay, Charmaine is a legal associate. She's also a practicing lawyer with the Bar Council. I mean, she's of course registered with the Bar Council, and I think, is she ready? Charmaine, are you
Yeah,
there?
I'm right here.
Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying to get Charmaine in. All right. Okay, Charmaine,
Okay.
I just refreshed. Can
Can
I
you hear
hear
me?
you?
Can.
Wait, I get my
I
sound here
can
first. I can't hear you. All
because I'm
right.
not talking.
Okay, Charmaine, I can't really hear you on my earphone. But anyway, I think if you have any questions, can we just pop it up? So Charmaine, maybe before the questions pop up, let me ask you some questions. Uh, I'm sure the audience wants to know what is the difference between a convincing lawyer and litigation lawyer. I think maybe you can simply advise us the difference of these two different jargons in your line. So maybe when people want to get a deal done completed, should they get a convincing lawyer or litigation lawyer?
Okay, so I think in the way that you describe it, there is a third type of lawyer, which is what we call a corporate lawyer. So we have the conveyancing lawyers, we have the corporate lawyers, and we have the litigation lawyers. So what does a conveyancing lawyer does is their expertise is mainly vested with the assets and property acquisition and disposal, buy and sell properties, tenancy, lease, etc. Those are their forte. So also another thing that they are good at is also related to property. So is when example when developers wants to have a joint venture with the landowner. So when this happens, then either the conveyancing lawyer will come and prepare the joint venture agreement. Either the corporate lawyers and the conveyancing. I mean, there's a fine line here. But if the conveyancing comes in and they prepare the JV, which is the joint venture agreement, uh, it will always be required to have this extra document called power of attorney to basically it basically means that the landowner allows the developer to do what is necessary, like for example submitting the building plan, submitting to get a development order for etc, getting the APDL license out etc. So the power of attorney is important. So what does a litigation lawyer does? A litigation lawyer is like when there is a problem with your proper documentation. So for example, a lot of people will do like what you say. They will say like I don't need to spend that kind of money. I just get my agent to get me something that is like sample, or worst come to worst, I can always Google for the template so called. So the difference between what a normal lawyer would do and what a conveyancing lawyer would do is that they cater to your needs. They will ask you, okay, you are gonna rent this property, you are gonna lease it, or you're gonna buy it or sell it. What is your concern? Like payment issues. Do you require the furnishing to be there? Like for example, when you rent a property, for example, you rent a residential house that you plan to live in for the next 2 years, then you'll be concerned whether the house come fully furnished, whether there will be like a water leakage issues, what if about the insurance, who pays for the maintenance, water bill, electricity bill, etc. So litigator, what we call a litigator or litigation lawyer, they come in when you don't have proper documentation, or like the other side refuse to honor the obligations under the contract. So for example, like a good example would be like MCO. The tenant will be asking for a discount. So they say, oh, I want a 30% discount because everyone's getting discount. So then the landlord might turn around and say, I mean, according to my agreement, to give you discount or not is up to my discretion. So now I don't want to give you discount, you have to pay me in full. So the tenant
We
might turn around and say, what?
talking about this, you say whether they give you discount or don't give you discount. What
Mm.
if new tenancies you have a clause stating that
Ah,
okay during
so
MCO you kena how?
okay, so that is something what we call a force majeure clause. Where it will govern if something bad happen, what are the contingencies. So for example, if there's a flood, or for now there's an MCO pandemic, what do we do? Can we extend the payment terms, or can we put the payment on hold? Then when MCO subsides, then we go back to the payment, for example. So these things is something that you won't get if you get in the template, right? So if
Yeah.
you want to insist going easy, take the easy way out and get a template to prepare, these things will as far as I'm concerned, it is normally not covered unless you are very legal savvy or like language savvy, that you decided to read all the fine prints and then amend it yourself. But chances are most of the people, they don't do that. So when all this fail, you go to court. So when you go to court, the litigation lawyer will comes in and then they will ask you, okay, what is supposed to be done under the contract? Why didn't you do it? Is there something to safeguard your rights? Is there something that you're supposed to do but you didn't do? For example, like payment or like execution obligation, for example. So if you didn't do those things, uh, or like you expect someone to do it, then you might sue the person to get a specific performance or to get a monetary compensation. And of course, when you go to court, the fees is relatively more expensive. That's why I say. That's
Mhm.
why I always think prevention is better than cure.
So you better you have
Get
arbitration or case management, right?
Oh no, that's also another thing that we are looking at. So for example, when you go to court, right, there is what we call a alternate dispute resolution. What happens if you don't go to
Mhm.
court? You can opt for arbitration. But arbitration might not be the best choice at times because the cost or the fee scale we're looking at is actually based on the adjudicated fee. So, for example, today your dispute is 1 million or more, then there is a skill fee to say, the charges will be X amount. In opposed to going to court, sometimes it's more fast. It's actually faster. It's a more expeditious manner to do it. The lawyer will just look
All
at the
right.
matter and tell you, okay, we do this, and then if I get the order, I will execute, and we do this. Then you get your money back. It's faster, and
Okay.
if the matter is not very complicated, then the charges might be cheaper than going for arbitration. So
All right.
whilst you actually sue someone in court, you go for the proper litigation route. Either parties can actually suggest for something called a mediation, whereby you put the court proceedings on hold. The clients will come in and the lawyers will assist. We don't do the fighting job anymore. Our job is to assist, get the clients in a room and let them talk them out, like talk it out. Like what is the
That will
terms of
cause a
settlement.
lot of problem then. A lot of arguments
Yeah,
in all
so
one.
so sometimes it actually work. Like some clients are like, oh, I'm sick and tired of going to court. Why don't I just settle? So if they can reach a settlement terms, we can always enter something called a consent judgment, whereby both parties
Yep.
agree. Yeah, so and it save costs, save time, save the hassle and the pressure. But
All
if
right.
you but if mediation fails, then by all means we go back to court.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got any more questions? Please ask us. Okay. There's a bar here will pop up if you have a question. We have a beautiful lawyer here. She's here to help you answer any legal implications that you want to ask during MCO. Okay. Please pop it up. Okay. Please pop it up. Just ask in the comments section. All right. Then I mean Charmaine and myself. Charmaine will be more than happy to answer you. So fantastically today she has some time. I've invited her here to our show and also to share her knowledge together with us in order to help you solve some MCO important issues as well. So please pop it up. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, just ask us any questions. I can also definitely answer you. Before you pop it up, maybe one more thing to you, Charmaine. During MCO time, I think now since the last year, Parliament are supposed to approve some MCO clause law, which of course tenancy agreements and also SPAs are supposed to have something like a pandemic clause that if this thing happen, payments and all those things have to be delayed. Which just now you mentioned. Is this clause? Can you just explain a bit about this clause?
Okay, so under this, the government has actually passed something called temporary measures for reducing the impact of coronavirus disease
Hmm.
2019. So I will call it the COVID Act lah. So what does this COVID Act does is there is a certain provisions in the Act that says that if given during MCO, you couldn't perform certain obligations under the contract. So for example, if you rented a commercial building for hotel or motel purposes or to run business, there is absolutely no way that you can open your doors for business. There is no income, and it will affect your capability of paying rent, for instance. So landlord will also have to secure their interest. What they will do, they will issue something called a letter of demand to you. You will have to respond within X amount of time. If you didn't, they will proceed to court. So under this COVID Act, it is not stopping the landlord from suing you, but it forms some sort of deterrence for the landlord to think twice whether they want to do so, because inside the provisions there is also a suggestion for mediation before the judge. So the judge might be able to sort things out for the both of you, but of course, during mediation, the judge will always be impartial. The judge cannot force you to settle if you do not want to, or the terms are so absurd or so unreasonable that you cannot agree to.
All right. Okay. So, as ladies and gentlemen, you can hear what Charmaine has advised you. So, if you have any questions, please pop it up. All right. I think we have one question for you, Charmaine. You can see the screen now; it pops out. All right. So the question is, Wong Kok Chung asks, how would like to know if there are any caveats to buying a unit that has a commercial title rather than a residential title. You get that, Charmaine? Would like to know if there are any caveats to buying a unit that has a commercial title rather than a residential title.
Really, how caveat works is this: caveat works when someone has caveatable interest on your property, and caveatable interest doesn't mean it's monetary, it has to be something else. So caveat means like today, for example, I have certain interest in LT's land, for example, that his residential property. I will then register a caveat or lodge a caveat in a sense. And then when you buy the property, you realize, or you get your lawyer to run a land search for etc., you realize that it's a caveat. Then I would suggest that if the property has a caveat, be it commercial or residential, always clarify who lodged the caveat, check with the vendor. You will want to buy a property that is without encumbrances. If someone has a caveat on the land or the property, for instance, later in the days, if the person who lodged a caveat brings action against the vendor, then you are interested to buy, you might be caught in middle, like you are stuck with nowhere to go.
All right. Don't lah, I invite to my show. You first time on the caveat my residential property. I scared of you.
But it's an
Okay.
example lah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing,
Nah,
like
just
for
joking,
example,
just
sometimes when you
joking.
get a house loan from the bank, right, the bank will actually
Yeah.
charge your house
Yep.
as a
Exactly.
security.
All right. There's another questions popping up. Maybe we can have a look at the next question for Charmaine. Marcus Lee, a real estate negotiator. Okay, we have a real estate agent, negotiator asking you a question. How do you think the upcoming residential tenancy agreement would help owner in case of non-payment of rental? All right.
Challenging question. Now, okay, say today I am the lawyer for the owner. How will I be able to safeguard and enforce their rights in the tenancy agreement?
Mm.
Of course, we want to leave room for discussion and negotiation if that's what the owner wants, because sometimes, given MCO, there's really not much that we can do about it. So we can always leave room to say that the landlord has the ultimate discretion whether to give a discount. So if no discount is given, there will always be a written notice given if they want to chase the tenant out, if they didn't comply with the payment or etc.
Okay. All right. Okay, time is running out. We need to give you another question. Okay, thank you for your answer. The next question is let's pop it up. The next question for you. Suddenly we got a lot of questions. Buljit Kira. Okay, Miss Buljit has a question for you. What's the legal term clause to put in the contract in case of a pandemic to protect the tenants?
This one is what we call a force majeure clause, to see if there is something that happens unexpectedly or something we can't foresee, for example, the pandemic. So what do we do about that? So normally, if we will strongly suggest to have the force majeure clause, and if the force majeure events like the pandemic kicks in, parties need to sit down and discuss and work out a contingency plan or how to move forward.
Okay, okay. Okay, we got time for one more questions. Actually, we have a lot of questions up there, Charmaine. Suddenly when I open up, say a lot of questions I all want you to answer. So Charmaine, make sure you come into our so-called webpage to follow up with the questions. Okay, Robert Wong asks you one final question for you tonight. Is if there's a caveat, does it have a duration? I think very simple question for you.
No, caveat doesn't have a duration. Caveat is going to be there until the person who lodged it removes it, or the landowner removes it in other ways.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's gonna stay as long as it takes.
Okay. Okay, we still can take one more. We still can take one more. Okay, one more question for you. People see your pretty face, all want to ask you question, bro. Charmaine. Okay, force majeure clause. Compulsory to be accepted by landlord. Alice
uh,
Chin.
no, at least it's not. So force majeure works in a way that we will slot it into the agreement or the contract if the lawyer feels that there is such a requirement. But sometimes, even no matter how you advise your client, they say no, I don't want to complicate things, don't put it in. So when something happened, then you're like, oh, I should have listened to you. Should have it in.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a lot of, I still know that you have a lot of questions. Sorry, we are running out of time. But don't worry, Charmaine will be definitely looking at your questions when it comes to all the comment box. Charmaine, yeah, you please check it out together with us. I'll also second you to all your answers. Charmaine will be there. You can also ask her contact. Don't tell me about it, okay? If she gives you, it's up to her. So you can always talk to her. She will reply you on our Facebook page as well, all the questions for this live episode today. So Charmaine, thank you very much for your time
Thank you.
tonight. Okay, please do answer the questions. We'll be definitely we hope to have you in another show one day and more time also for you to answer the questions. Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much. Good evening, guys. Have a great night.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, we thank Charmaine for her time. And of course, coming to our end of this episode, I believe tonight, to sum it up all up for you, I think you know how important a lawyer is to any real estate deal that you are doing. Okay, now my advice to all of you is to please hire and find a good lawyer to represent you, okay, and protects you from being cheated, and make sure your money is all fully paid through the lawyer as well. Okay, so make sure you get a fantastic good lawyer when you buy a property. All right, if you do not know where, feel free to call our CID realtors. We can always recommend you some lawyers that is good in the market as well, and of course like Charmaine as well. All right, and please look at the screen. We have next episode. We hope to see you next week as well, Monday. Please share the link out. Okay, I'm always on Monday night 8:30 now. We are doing this live, CID live. Next week, next episode is a fantastic topic again. We're going to talk about investing in residential properties. Now, bear in mind, at the end of the night, I'm not going to sell you anything. You can keep your wallets. I'm going to just teach you how to invest in the residential properties. I'm sure if you are happy to look for some residential property to buy, or you're buying your first property, what are the important implications that you need to see when investing in a residential property? What is the important items that you have to look thoroughly into? Okay, and what are the yields you need to look for to buy, and how to discuss it? All of this we're going to discuss in this next episode, live next week on the 26th of July 2021. All right, 8:30 p.m. So register with us in our Facebook page. Okay, let us know if you're coming. And please, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to look for any properties for sale with our CID realtors negotiators, feel free to go into CID.my, which is our website. Okay, you can see our negotiators, leaders, and all our directors' pages, our faces there. Okay, and that's our corporate website. And you can also go in there to also go in, if you're having a phone using an Android phone, go to Play Store, download this thing called CID Toolbox. It's free of charge. Okay, you can look at that app. It's going to be a toolbox it's a property toolbox for you. All right, it helps our real estate negotiators, helps you as a consumer as well to calculate interest and so forth, legal fees and everything. Okay, that real estate has to offer for you. So download it, called CID Toolbox. It's called real estate toolbox, not police toolbox. All right, and of course, finding a listing, finding a property to buy or invest or to rent, feel free to go into cid.com.my. That's where our CID real estate negotiators put in the website, put in all our properties in the website, and you can also find them on iProperty, okay, and a Property Guru as well, our CID agents, okay, with together plenty of other people in the market as well. But if you want to find with CID, just go to cid.com.my, our company's website, where we have the 4-section residential, land, commercial, and industrial properties available for you. Okay, and if you ever thought, if somebody were laid you off, you don't have a job, don't worry. Okay, feel free to join CID Realtors. We have all the right leaders and the directors and coaches to coach you to be a good negotiator. And not to join us, you don't need to pay 900 ringgit. 900 ringgit is together with a package to get you as certified as a real estate negotiator with the board of valuers. Okay, so there's a course in it together, 2 days course for you to complete. And you can just register with us at our CID.my website. Click on the join us now, register the form. Our people will get in touch, our HR will get in touch with you, and make sure you get the right person to help you join the CID family. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor. You can also find me on Lautong at Lautong underscore in Instagram. Follow me. All right, if you like my show, follow me, make friends with me, and you can send me a message also so I know who are you. And of course, you can also like me and follow me on our Facebook page. My personal page is LOWTUNG. All right, I'm sit there with the picture crossing my legs. Looks like a little bit of the Godfather, but I'm not, okay, but I'm just a nice picture that I put up. So please do add me on the Facebook and also this Instagram. I hope to have more followers and fantastic friends as with you as well. And of course, follow us on CID Realtors page at Facebook, okay, Instagram, and also Twitter. If you find us at CID Realtors, CID Realtors, okay, with an S at the back. Follow us for all upcoming updates and shows as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with this, I thank you tonight for coming into our show. All right, be part of us now. CID Realtors is here to serve the nation and to you as well. All right, consider it done, and thank you for coming tonight.